Good morning, dear students. Last class we completed thermodynamics, and the thermodynamics, the important equations or the some important equations of thermodynamics. In the last class we have discussed that is del G, the delta G is equal to del H minus T del S, which is known as Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, and actually this represents the what is the feasibility of a process. And also we know that when del G is negative, the process is spontaneous. When del G is positive, the process non-spontaneous. And when del G is equal to 0, the process is in equilibrium. So what is equilibrium? There are different types of equilibrium: chemical equilibrium, thermal equilibrium, or mechanical equilibrium. Okay, so del G is equal to 0, that is in equilibrium. Okay, and also what we all know that how this del G is related to the equilibrium constant by the relation del G is equal to delta G is equal to delta G naught plus 2.303 RT log Q. That is the reaction quotient. And also we have derived the standard del G naught is equal to minus 2.303 minus 2.303 RT log K, and K is known as equilibrium constant. When K is known as equilibrium constant, and also we have another equation, that is del G naught is delta G naught is equal to minus NFE naught. So this is another equation we studied in class 12, that is delta G naught, that is the standard free energy change, and the standard free energy change is related to electrode potential, cell potential. This is cell potential by the relation delta G naught is equal to minus NFE naught, where N is the number of electrons involved either in oxidation or reduction process, F is Faraday, that is 96,500 coulomb, and E naught is known as cell potential. E naught, that is standard cell potential, and F, that is 1 Faraday, that is equal to 96,500 coulomb, nearly equal to, and N is known as number of electrons involved in oxidation or reduction. Okay, already we have discussed all these. Now question arises, so what is this equilibrium and what is this equilibrium constant? So today here we are going to start a new chapter that is related with this equilibrium or equilibrium constant. Equilibrium as well as equilibrium constant. So let us start a new chapter, that is equilibrium. So let us start a new chapter, that is equilibrium, and this equilibrium chapter consists of two parts. One, that is chemical equilibrium, and another ionic equilibrium. So first start what is chemical equilibrium. After that we will go through ionic equilibrium. So what is chemical equilibrium? So when equilibrium established in chemical reaction, that is known as your chemical equilibrium. Next, the question arises, what is this equilibrium? So this equilibrium means, so in chemical equilibrium, the concentration of the change of concentration of the reactant or the product with respect to time becomes zero. That state is known as equilibrium condition. In a chemical reaction, what is the observable properties like concentration, density, temperature, pressure, all these systems with observable properties that seems to be constant. So that is known as the equilibrium. Okay, so you know that is the thermal equilibrium. So whenever there is a hot body is there and there is a cold body is there, then this is at higher temperature and this is at low temperature. This is at high temperature, this is at low temperature. Then what happens if these two are come contact to each other, then heat transfer from this hot body to this lower body, so that the both of them the temperature will become equal. So that means that represents the thermal equilibrium. Similarly, when the net force is zero, that is known as the mechanical equilibrium. So in the same way, if the equilibrium established in any physical process, the equilibrium may be established in physical processes or physical change, or that may be applicable in a chemical reaction. So if this is applicable in physical processes, then that is known as a physical equilibrium, and if the equilibrium is achieved in a chemical reaction, then that is known as a chemical equilibrium. And remember here, this is most important, and this chemical equilibrium is generally established in reversible reaction. So in thermodynamics, we know what is a reversible process and irreversible process. So the reversible process, the driving force and the opposing force both are equal, so that the state is reversible, so that every state is in equilibrium. At that time we have said that every state is in equilibrium. Similarly, reversible reaction, a reaction where the reactant react to give the product and again the product react to give the reactant, that reaction is known as reversible reaction. And a reaction where the reactant reacts to give the product and the product again do not give the reactant, so it leads to completion, then that is known as irreversible reaction. So look here, so when you take the aqueous solution of sodium chloride with the aqueous solution of silver nitrate, so at once the precipitation of silver chloride takes place. It will give you the aqueous solution of sodium nitrate and the precipitation of silver chloride. As is here precipitate. This is the precipitate. So this reaction takes place at once and this reaction leads to completion. Okay, similarly, so all the precipitation reaction, next combustion reaction. So when combustion reaction takes place, look here, suppose methane is there and it undergo combustion with oxygen, so it gives carbon dioxide and water. But from carbon dioxide and water, we cannot get this methane and oxygen again. In this way, this reaction is irreversible in nature. So this is irreversible in nature. So the precipitation reaction, the combustion reaction, and we can say some acid-base neutralization reaction. Look here, suppose we take the neutralization reaction. Neutralization reaction, like when you take hydrochloric acid and the aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide, aqueous solution of this will give rise to Na plus Cl minus or NaCl plus H2O. Look here, so acid and base when reacts, it gives salt and water. Generally we know. And when salt is treated with water, whether it gives acid and base? No. So sodium chloride when reacts with water, when it dissolves sodium chloride to water, it never gives you HCl or sodium hydroxide. That means this reaction is also irreversible in nature. So for this irreversible reaction, generally represented by this symbol that is called give rise to. Okay, that is a single-headed arrow, one direction, that is directed towards one direction. So where it is goes to completion. So these are known as your irreversible reaction. Next come to what is a reversible reaction. So the reversible reaction is one that the reactants react to give the products, and again the products reacts to give the reactants under suitable conditions. Okay, so look here some examples. For example, these are known as your reversible reactions. For example, suppose given nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas, it gives rise to 2NH3 gas. Similarly, suppose H2 gas plus I2 gas give rise to 2HI gas. Similarly, PCl5 gas give rise to PCl3 gas plus chlorine gas. Similarly, another reaction is also there, that is, suppose you take some ester and treat it with water in presence of acid, so it gives rise to acid plus alcohol. So this alcohol and acid again react to give this ester, and ester again undergo hydrolysis to form acid and alcohol. In this way, these reactions are known as reversible reactions. So these are known as reversible reactions, and in reversible reactions only the equilibrium is established. Equilibrium is established. So in reversible reaction, only in reversible reaction this equilibrium is established. Okay. So here reactant gives the product, and the product again under suitable conditions give these reactants. So these reactions are your reversible reactions. Next, so what is this equilibrium? So equilibrium means, so you know nitrogen and hydrogen reacts to form ammonia, and after that ammonia again reacts to form nitrogen, it decomposes to give nitrogen and hydrogen. So what happens? This reaction never complete. So actually the reactant gives the product, and if the product is more, again the product react to give the reactants. Okay, so the reactants give the product, and this product here combined to give the reactants. In this way, this reversible reaction never proceed to completion. So due to which this equilibrium is achieved. So in the equilibrium, so what is this equilibrium condition? So equilibrium condition is that where the rate of the change of concentration of the reactant or product with respect to time, that becomes Stockdale's thesis, that condition is known as equilibrium. So actually it looks like no reaction takes place, but actually the reaction is continuing, but it looks like no reaction takes place. So that condition is known as the equilibrium condition. Look here, suppose we have drawn a graph between here suppose the time and here concentration. For example, so some reactant is given R give rise to product, and this reversible reaction is generally represented by double-headed half arrow in this way, half arrow in this way. Okay. So this equilibrium reversible reaction is generally represented by this. Suppose reactant is here, some reactants are here more. So with respect to time, what happens? So first, the concentration of the reactants falls down. Concentration of the reactant falls, and at the initial stage, the concentration of product, this is reactant and this is product. The concentration of product is less, and the concentration of product is less, or it may be 0. So with respect to time, as the time increases, so first the formation of product is there. So due to formation of product, so you say the concentration of product increases and the concentration of the reactant decreases. So So a time achieved, time appears where the concentration of the reactant and concentration of the product do not change with time, that will remain constant. So here the product and here the reactant. So achieve a time is there, a condition is there where the concentration of the reactant do not change with respect to time, and the concentration of product also do not change with respect to time. So that condition is called equilibrium. That condition is called equilibrium condition. Okay. So equilibrium is a condition where the concentration of the reactant and the concentration of the product do not change with time. So at equilibrium condition, all the measurable properties like concentration, color, so all density, all these terms of reactants and products that will remain constant, that will not change with respect to time. Okay, so if the equilibrium is established in a physical process, that is known as physical equilibrium, and equilibrium is established in a chemical process, that is known as chemical equilibrium. Look here, some examples of physical equilibrium. Physical equilibrium. Suppose water at solid state, ice condition is there, then what happens at 0 degrees Celsius? So this water solid state is present, and at that time water in liquid form also present. So both the solid and liquid, these are, so both water exist at 0 degrees Celsius and solid water and solid form ice is also exist at 0 degrees Celsius. In this way, at 0 degrees Celsius, both solid and liquid are in equilibrium. So at the melting point of a solid, both the solid and liquid are in equilibrium. Similarly, suppose we say at 100 degrees Celsius, water liquid is there and water gaseous state is there. So water liquid is converted to water vapor at 100 degrees Celsius. So here both the liquid and water vapor both coexist. So in this way, that state is said to be equilibrium. So the equilibrium established in the physical changes, that is solid to liquid and liquid to gas or solid to gas, then that is called the physical equilibrium. So at 100 degrees Celsius, water liquid, water gas, so these are in equilibrium. Similarly, this is called this equilibrium. This is called solid liquid equilibrium. This is called liquid gas equilibrium. Similarly, suppose at sublimation point, some solid I2 solid is converted to I2 gas. I2 solid is converted to I2 gas at sublimation point. At sublimation point, then we can say the solid and I2 gas, solid and iodine solid and I2 gas, these are in equilibrium. Similarly, so this is solid liquid, this is liquid gas, this is solid gas equilibrium. Similarly, a salt in its saturated state, in a saturated solution, in its saturated state, it is in equilibrium with its salt. Okay, for example, so you can say like this, look here, sodium chloride solid is in equilibrium with sodium chloride aqueous at saturated state. So this is called at saturated state. So this is called dissolution equilibrium. This is also called dissolution equilibrium. So these are your physical equilibrium. And when equilibrium achieved in a chemical processes, in chemical reaction, that is known as your chemical equilibrium. So this chemical equilibrium in a chemical reaction, and this generally the chemical equilibrium takes place in reversible chemical reactions. Okay. And another thing I want to say here, this chemical equilibrium again classified into two types. One is known as the homogeneous equilibrium, another known as heterogeneous equilibrium. So homogeneous equilibrium means both, if all the reactants and products, if all are in same phase, this is known as a homogeneous equilibrium. For example, H2 gas plus 3H2 gas plus N2 gas give rise to 2NH3 gas. Similarly, PCl5 gas give rise to PCl3 gas plus fluorine gas. SO2 gas plus O2 gas give rise to 2SO3 gas. All these are examples of some homogeneous equilibrium. All the reactants and products, if all are in same phase, either solid or liquid or in gaseous phase. But if in the heterogeneous equilibrium is that one where all the reactants, either of the reactants, among the reactants and products, either one of them is in different phase, either in solid phase or in liquid phase or in gaseous phase. Either of the reactant or product, if in different phase, then that is known as your heterogeneous equilibrium. So some examples are like this. Suppose you take the calcium carbonate solid, it will give rise to CaO solid plus carbon dioxide gas. All are not in the same phase. Similarly, if you take the example of ammonium chloride solid, when it is heated, it gives rise to ammonia gas plus HCl gas. So here these are in gaseous state, these are in solid state. These are in one solid and this is in gaseous state. So these are known as your heterogeneous equilibrium. Okay. So now note down what is reversible reaction, irreversible reaction, what is equilibrium, what is physical equilibrium, chemical equilibrium, and homogeneous, heterogeneous equilibrium. So note down these chemical irreversible reaction and reversible reaction. The chemical reaction in which product form do not react to produce the original reactants is known as irreversible reaction. That is acid-base neutralization reaction, precipitation reaction, combustion reaction. Some displacement reactions are also there. Okay. Displacement reactions. So these are some examples of irreversible reaction. And irreversible reaction proceeds to completion. After the reactant is completed or fully consumed, then the reaction is completed. Then the reversible reaction, the chemical reaction in which the product of the reaction can also react with one another under suitable conditions to give back the original reactant is called reversible reaction. Some examples are there. And a reversible reaction never proceeds to completion. The reactant gives the product, and again the product gives the reactant, and again the reactant gives the product. So in this way, this process continually proceeds. So in this way, it never proceeds to completion. Okay. So equilibrium, it is a particular state at which the concentration of the reactants and products do not change with time. That means it is a state where all measurable properties become constant. So equilibrium is of two types, physical equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. Physical equilibrium, the state of equilibrium achieved in physical processes such as evaporation, condensation, fusion, dissolution, etc. are called physical equilibrium. Similarly, solid to gas, there is fusion equilibrium. Example, you have taken is water solid to water liquid at 0 degrees Celsius. Similarly, liquid gas vaporization equilibrium, we have taken water liquid to water gas or vapor at 100 degrees Celsius. Similarly, solid gas, we have taken the example of iodine solid to iodine gas at the sublimation point. Similarly, solute you have taken the example of sodium chloride aqueous solution is with sodium chloride solute at a saturated solution. So this is known as the dissolution equilibrium. Next, chemical equilibrium. The state of equilibrium achieved in a chemical reaction is known as chemical equilibrium. It is of two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous. So look at some examples of homogeneous and heterogeneous equilibrium. Then what are the characteristics of equilibrium? Now, homogeneous equilibrium, heterogeneous equilibrium. So the equilibrium in which all the reactants and products are in the same phase is known as homogeneous equilibrium. And nitrogen, hydrogen, these are in gaseous form, ammonia is also in gaseous form, hydrogen, iodine in gaseous form, HI is also in gaseous form, PCl5 in gaseous form, PCl10, chlorine are in gaseous form. So all these are some examples of homogeneous equilibrium. And heterogeneous equilibrium, the equilibrium is achieved in the reaction in which one of the equilibrium condition, if one of the reactant or product is in different phase, that is either in solid or liquid phase, then that is known as heterogeneous equilibrium. So CaCO3 solid, CaO solid plus carbon dioxide gas. Okay, this is one example. And similarly, ammonium chloride solid, ammonia gas and HCl gas. Ni solid 4CO, NiCO4, nickel tetracarbonate, this is also in gaseous form. And iron solid 4H2O gas give rise to Fe3O4 solid and 4H2 gas. So these are some examples of heterogeneous equilibrium. Now coming to what are the characteristics of equilibrium. So one is that at equilibrium all the measurable properties are constant, and for a physical change or in a chemical reaction, if the gaseous reactants or products are there, then the equilibrium is only achieved if this is a closed system. That is, if this is open, then all the gaseous products will escape out. Okay. Next, equilibrium is dynamic in nature. So the dynamic means at the equilibrium condition, the reaction is not stopped. Actually, the reaction is proceeds, but the speed of the forward reaction and backward reaction both become equal. So the rate of forward reaction and rate of backward reaction both become equal at equilibrium condition. The reaction is never static. The reaction is never stops. So it will continue, but the concentration remains constant. Reactant gives product, product gives the reactant, reactant gives the product, product gives the reactant. In this way, in both directions, the reaction is continuing. That's why this is called dynamic in nature. And this equilibrium also depends on temperature. This equilibrium point do not depend on the catalyst. If you use the catalyst, then both the speed of forward reaction and backward reaction both will increase, but the equilibrium will achieve at a faster rate. But the rate of reaction that does not alter the rate of reaction, that does not change the equilibrium position, but this equilibrium achieved at a faster rate. That is the rate of both forward reaction and backward reaction both increase. By the use of a catalyst, both the rate of forward reaction and backward reaction both will proceed at the same rate. The forward reaction, backward reaction both will proceed at the same rate. The reaction and the equilibrium will achieve faster, but the equilibrium position that does not change. Okay, so these are some characteristics of equilibrium. Another thing I want to say here, the equilibrium can achieve in either direction. Either you start from the reactant side or from the product side, the equilibrium will achieve at a particular point. That can be achieved in both directions. Okay, so note down what are the characteristics of equilibrium. So what are the characteristics of equilibrium? Equilibrium can be achieved from either direction. That means, suppose H2 gas plus I2 gas give rise to 2 HI gas, and the reaction, suppose the equilibrium achieved at 298 Kelvin, then either you start from H2 or I2 at 298. So the temperature here is 273 Kelvin, and here suppose 2HI the temperature is 373 Kelvin. So in this way, either you start from H2 and I2. This is suppose. Okay. So suppose at this temperature, suppose you can say T1, this is T2, and this is T equilibrium achieved at T. Suppose you start from H2 and I2 at 298 Kelvin. When reach at 298 Kelvin, it will form this 2HI. That the equilibrium is achieved. Similarly, if the temperature is high and it is if you start from 2HI, then again it reacts to form H2 and I2. It decomposes to form H2 and I2. Similarly, at 2HI, when it reached at 298 Kelvin, the equilibrium will be achieved. So, equilibrium will be achieved from either direction, from reactant side or from product side. The concentration of H2 and I2 and HI will remain the same whether you start from H2 and I2 or you start from HI. At a specific condition, at a specific temperature, the equilibrium will appear. So, in this way, this is achieved from either direction. Next, the chemical equilibrium is dynamic in nature. The chemical equilibrium's dynamic nature means at the equilibrium condition, both the reaction takes place. But it seems to be no reaction takes place. Actually, the reaction takes place and both takes place at the same rate. For example, at equilibrium, H2 and I2 react to give HI and HI also react to give H2 and I2. No stop of the reaction, no cease of the reaction. The reaction is not static, this is dynamic in nature. Okay. Next, the measurable properties of the system become constant because the concentration of the reactant and products are formed. So here, iodine is purple in color and HI is colorless, but at equilibrium, this is a mixture of these two. So in this way, what is the observable property of the concentration, what is the temperature, what is the density, what is color. So all these properties remain constant. There is no change at equilibrium after so many times. Okay. Next, in case of substance is in equilibrium is in gaseous form, the equilibrium will be established only in a closed vessel. So equilibrium cannot be achieved in an open container because if in gaseous species is there, that will escape out to atmosphere. In this way, that should be the vessel should be closed. It is in a closed container. Next, the presence of catalyst increases the rate of both forward and backward reaction, but do not change the equilibrium position. Suppose at the constant for H2 and I2 give rise to 2HI at the combination of 40% of H2 and 40% of I2. Suppose the reaction achieves the equilibrium. Similarly, when you use some catalyst, or you use some catalyst platinum, then also the same at 40% of H2 and 40% of I2, the equilibrium will achieve. But the speed of the reaction only increases. So, catalyst do not change the position, but the concentration that will not change. The reactants and product concentration do not change, but the equilibrium will achieve at a faster rate. These are the characteristics of equilibrium. Next, come to important part of chemical equilibrium, that is law of mass action. So, what is law of mass action? So, this law is given by Wilbur and Weiss in 1807. This is generally given in 1807. Okay. So, this law states that the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of the reactant species. Each term rises to the power equal to its coefficient as represented in a balanced chemical equation. So, it looks like so long, but look here. Suppose the reaction is A of A plus B of B give rise to product. Suppose the reaction is like this. Then what is the rate of reaction? Rate of means what is the speed of reaction? What is the change in concentration with respect to time? Change in concentration with respect to time is known as rate of reaction. That is also known as the speed of reaction. Okay. Suppose reaction is given A of A plus B of B, and the rate of reaction is R, represented as R. So rate of a reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of reactant species, which is given A square bracket that represents the molar concentration. How many moles? Number 1 mole, 2 mole, 3 mole. How many molar concentration are there? 0.5 mole. The rate of the reaction is directly proportional to the molar concentration of the reactant species. A and B both are reactant. The product of molar concentration of the reactant species. Each term rise to the power equal to its coefficient as represented in a balanced chemical equation. So this is known as rate of reaction. Okay. Suppose reactant is A and it gives rise to product. Then rate is proportional only A. Suppose 2A give rise to product. Then R is proportional A to the power 2. Okay. Suppose A plus B give rise to product. Then rate is proportional to product of A and product of B. So 1 coefficient 1. Okay. So in this way, the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of the reactant species. Each term rise to the power equal to its coefficient as represented in a balanced chemical equation. So this is known as law of mass action. And again, suppose to make it equal, then what you have to do? You have to multiply by proportionality constant. Then, or we can say R is equal to some constant K, A to the power A into B to the power B. So where K is called rate constant. K is called rate constant or specific reaction rate. Specific reaction rate. Where A is called the rate constant. This is proportionality constant, or we can say, okay, let it only remember this is known as the rate constant, also known as the proportionality constant. Now let us apply the law of mass action to a reversible reaction, and what we get, that is known as law of chemical equilibrium. So applying law of mass action to a reversible reaction. Applying law of mass action to a reversible reaction. Reversible reaction. So let us consider the reversible reaction A of A plus B of parts of B give rise to C of C plus D of D. So these are the reactants, these are the product. Reactants give the product, this is known as the forward reaction, and products give the reactant, this is known as the backward reaction. Okay. So for forward reaction, rate of forward reaction, so that is RF is proportional to A to the power A into B to the power B. Okay, or that is equal to some constant Kf. Kf is the rate constant of forward reaction, A to the power A into B to the power B. Similarly, for backward reaction, give equation 1 for backward reaction. So rate of backward reaction, what is that? RB, rate of backward reaction, RB. So RB is proportional to So these are the product with the reactant. So as a product with the reactant, in backward reaction, now these are the reactant. In forward reaction, these are the reactant. In backward reaction, these are the reactant. And the rate of a reaction is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of the reactant species. In this rate of backward reaction is proportional C to the power C into D to the power D. This is the reactant, this is the coefficient. Remember this. Or RD is equal to some constant Kb into C to the power C into D to the power D. Okay, this is equation 2. At equilibrium, what is the condition? At equilibrium, Rf is equal to Rb, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. Hence, what we get? So, hence we get that is Kf into A to the power A into B to the power B is equal to Kb C to the power C into D to the power D, like this. Or Kf by Kb is equal to C to the power C into D to the power D by A to the power A into B to the power B. So this Kf by Kb, this gives rise to another constant, and that is known as K. That is known as the K. So K is equal to C to the power C, D to the power D by A to the power A into B to the power B. Molar concentration C to the power C, D to the power D, A, B to the power B. So this K is called equilibrium constant. This is called equilibrium constant. And what is that? This is the ratio of rate constant of forward reaction divided by rate constant of backward reaction. So the ratio of Rf by Rb, this is the ratio of Kf by Kb, the rate constant of forward to the backward reaction is known as equilibrium constant. Or we can say equilibrium constant is the ratio of product of molar concentration of the product species to the molar concentration of the reactant species, each term rise to the power equal to its coefficients as represented in a balanced chemical equation. So this is a constant and known as equilibrium constant. Okay, and this equilibrium constant is represented in different terms. That is, it can be represented either by Kc or Kp or Kx. If we take the molar concentration of the reactants and products, then the equilibrium constant is known as Kc. If we take in terms of partial pressure of the reactants and products, this is known as your Kp. And if we take the mole fraction of the reactants and products, then this is known as the Kx. Okay. So now note down what is law of mass action and what is equilibrium constant. So law of mass action. This law states that the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to the product of active masses. So this A to the power A, B to the power B is also called the active masses. Active masses or molar concentration of the reactant species. Each term rise to the power equal to its coefficient as represented in a balanced chemical equation. Okay. So suppose you consider the reaction A of A plus B of B give rise to product. Then rate of reaction R is proportional to A to the power A into B to the power B, or R is equal to some constant K, A to the power A into B to the power B, where K is called proportionality constant or rate constant, square bracket of B, that is called the molar concentrations of A and B, and small a small b that represents the coefficients. Now apply this law of mass action to a reversible reaction. Next, come to law of chemical equilibrium. So, law of chemical equilibrium can be derived by applying law of mass action to a reversible reaction in equilibrium. Let us consider a reversible reaction. A of A plus B of B give rise to C of C plus D of D. Then, according to law of mass action, rate of forward reaction R is proportional to A to the power A into B to the power B, or Rf equal to Kf A to the power A into B to the power B, where Kf rate constant of forward reaction, rate of backward reaction Rb proportional to C to the power C into D to the power D, or Rb equal to Kb C to the power C into D to the power D, where Kb is called rate constant of backward reaction. But at equilibrium, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. As rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction, then from this continue this part, at equilibrium, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. This implies Rf is equal to Rb, or Kf is equal to A to the power A into B to the power B, or Kb into C to the power C into D to the power D, or Kf by Kb is C to the power C into D to the power D, or A to the power A into B to the power B. Where K is another constant called equilibrium constant. Then what is the equilibrium constant? So, equilibrium constant is the ratio of rate constant of forward reaction to rate constant of backward reaction. Okay, or we can say this is the product of molar concentration of product species to product of molar concentration of the reactant species, each term rise to the power equal to its coefficient at a particular temperature. So now the ratio of rate constant of forward reaction to rate constant of backward reaction is a constant known as equilibrium constant. Or what is the definition of equilibrium constant? What is the law of chemical equilibrium? The ratio of product of molar concentration of the product species to the product of molar concentration of the reactant species, each term rise to the power equal to its coefficient as represented in a balanced chemical equation, is a constant known as equilibrium constant. This is the constant at a particular temperature, and that is known as equilibrium constant, and that constant is known as equilibrium constant. And this equilibrium constant, just like I have written in terms of A, but that can be represented in three ways, that is Kp, Kc and Kx. So what are Kp, Kc and Kx, we will discuss in next class. Okay.